A woman has come forth from Kingdom City Church on Prophet Brian Carn. She allegedly says that she was involved with the threesome with, I assume she's talking about Vashti Ennis. She also reveals in the video that she was pregnant and Prophet Brian Carn may be one of the fathers, allegedly. She says that she finally left the church. She takes responsibility for what she's done. How long is this kind of stuff going to go on? I'm going through something similar in my own church, where someone in leadership is having a relationship with another woman other than their wife while they're separated. And then you have the nerve and the audacity to bring the woman to church and think that we're stupid and don't know what's going on. And then other church folk want you to be quiet about it. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I don't agree with it. I told them y'all need to fire him or sit him down or to ask him to resign as pastor. And there are other people available. I don't know why they act like there's no other pastor available. But back to Prophet Brian Carn. This kind of madness has to stop, where the women are harassed and rebuked and told to be quiet, and the men are allowed to be predators and prey and misrepresent God's kingdom. Because you can't represent God when you say from the waist up.
So this is the moment that most people have probably been waiting for, because it's like kind of like I just disappeared out of nowhere from this church, right? This is the reason why I left Kingdom City Church. Prepare yourselves. The reason why I left Kingdom City Church is a lot of different factors. I'm gonna keep my words right and I'm gonna use my words correctly, even though I have everything documented from the very moment that I was approached until now. But I feel like I deserve to speak my truth. It's okay, it's the truth. I shouldn't be frightened or scared to speak my truth because there's fans worse than the beehive that he has. And just a lot of factors. There's some people there, allegedly. There's some crazy people that are possessive over him, right? But it's not just them being possessive. It's something that someone is doing, I have to use my words wisely, to cause these women to be very possessive, right? To the point where it drove me out. When I look at this church, right, and I look at these members, I am grateful for them. I'm grateful for the people there. I'm grateful for even down to the leader. But I can say that I had one of the worst stages of my life going to that church. It's like no one saw me. No one sees what you're going through. And you have people that coddle the dysfunction of the leadership going around. These people are knowing what's going on and they coddle his dysfunction. I'm still going through something with this person. And there's people that sit there and coddle his dysfunction. I deserve to speak my truth, and it's time. I joined the church August of 2021. I didn't get So I went to the church August 2021. Actually, the first time I ever went was like the ending of July of 2021, but I joined officially August of 2021. However, he doesn't approach me until via text message January 2023, which I have like the receipts that I could post for that and everything. So I don't get approached until January 2023. After that, we're talking, but I feel a pull to keep my options open, even though he wants me to only talk to him because of things out there, diseases and all these things that he's saying. Mind you, he told me never to share with anyone, don't talk to about anyone, which I have a text message of his very first approach that I can attach here. I just felt like at first it was very exciting because I'm like, oh my gosh, this amazing person, like he's like a king to all these people, like he wants me. Oh my gosh, like it can be so exciting until you realize, right, that there is probably way more people allegedly that he's communicating with and talking to in the church and be out of the church. So proceed to July 2023. Beforehand of July 2023, I get asked about or presented an opportunity for a threesome, right? So I don't want to say the girl's name, but the woman had already came out about him this year. That woman, he was like, she's going to text you and all you have to do is say yes, da 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 da. Like it was like a setup, like he knew how to set this thing right and set up the threesome. So we ended up meeting and basically the threesome happened, right? After that, him and I proceed to communicate, but then I send a text message like, hey, I don't know what this is, what this relationship is. I can't, like, I just don't know. I don't know what this is anymore, so I don't know what we're doing. So I ended up sending that text. He's like, I'm not going to chase you, yada, 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 whatever. Boom, I found out I'm pregnant, right? I didn't have the greatest moments in my life. And I had to let him know that he could be a potential father, potentially, like he could be one. Mind you, I had the worst stages of my life going there, so I take accountability for everything that I've done. I had a moment where I had pretty much almost like a one-night stand. Whether it was that or whether it was with allegedly Prophet Brian Carn Jr. I proceed to let him know that I'm pregnant. He's like, oh no, who's about? I'm like, I don't know, because the other guy was like the 16th of September, and me and him had sex September 26th. So it was like 10 days away. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, like, what is going on here? Like, no matter who I was trying to move forward with, he always kind of came in, whatever. I let him know that I'm pregnant. He proceeds to state, well, why don't you consider, an abortion? Like, are you going to continue to drink? Are you still going to smoke or whatever? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel all this pressure on me. So in my head, I'm thinking maybe I should go ahead and schedule it. Immediately was like, nah, I'm not even going to go that route or go that way. I don't even want to go that route, because I can't live with the thought of doing something like that to my child. Well, he starts checking on me, periodically during the pregnancy, and the baby's here. I do everything alone. The entire pregnancy, I'm really more so focused on the other guy. We're going to call him John. So I'm not really thinking anything of Prophet Brian Carn Jr. and really approaching him about it, because I'm like, it's impossible. There's no way that I could have he could be a potential option, even though I know they were only 10 days apart. And I take a full accountability for that. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done. I'm just not. There's nothing that anyone can pick on me about, or like, I'm very open about it. And it's like from there, after she was born, I'm doing everything on my alone, but a lot of the sisters from KCC, they were helping me a lot, which was tremendously amazing. Like they just came in and they kind of stepped in, them not knowing that he could be a potential option. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, someone did spread around that it was his child, but that was just them just spreading stuff around. Probably because I was cute and whatever. So, speed forward, I finally ended up approaching him this year, right? About a DNA test. He calls me a week later. Mind you, I did it through via text message. So he proceeded to call me a week later and he's like, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to take the test. Like, I'm just letting you know that I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to take this DNA test for you. I'm like, oh, yes, finally. Like, I'm like, oh, yes, you know, finally, like, victory could finally be held just for my daughter. Because none of this is about me. None of this is about them, too. It's more so about my child and, like, her getting the justice that she needs. Also, with me having to do everything pretty much on my own without my parents. I'm so grateful that, you know, I was able to purchase a property and everything, like everything that pretty much on my own. I'm just so thankful that God presented me the opportunity to do these things. Well, next thing you know, like I try to look to see if like, I don't know, something told me to go back to our text messages. I go back to our text messages, it's completely green. So either his numbers change or I'm just blocked. Whatever. I find out that I could be potentially blocked, but then he still proceeds to call me from no caller ID. And he's like, hey, I'm just checking on you. I don't want anything. He would call me from no caller ID. So my current boyfriend that I have now was like, oh no, this ain't gonna happen. So I was like, oh, well, you can answer the calls, honey. He's like, nah, you gotta change your number. You can't be just getting these calls and it's 10 o'clock at night, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to change my number. I changed my number immediately. After that, I never got any calls or anything like that. So months go by. I'm like, dang, man, I really need justice for this child. Like, she doesn't deserve to like, not know who her father is, you know? So for me, I'm like, I got to do what I got to do. I go to the child support enforcement office and I finally fill out an application and I put his information on it. And I go and fill it out for the other man, John, as well. And I put his name on the application because I said, no, I can't just go after the one guy. They were only 10 days apart. Like, I have to make sure it's even. It's not because of who he is. Like, I get it. But at the same time, my daughter needs the justice and that she deserves. Like, you have a whole live pastor that's preaching on a pulpit but dodging a DNA test behind the scenes. Mind you, I have to sit there and watch all this unfold. And I'm just so kind. But I'm like, girl, it's been 2 years now. Your daughter's 1 year old. You need to figure out this. You need justice for your daughter. And it's all about her. It's not about any of them, right? So I called the case manager about like a couple weeks ago. And she's like, hey, I just sent out the letter. Like, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, you sent out the letter. So for me, I know that the letter potentially got sent or is getting sent, but mind you, I still don't have justice for my daughter, you know, because I didn't have that much of a cooperable men, you know, because of the decisions and things that I've decided to make, which I take full accountability.
We have got to do a better job in training the younger generation. Baby, you don't sleep with two men in 10 days. You shouldn't be sleeping with anybody at all. And why are you not using protection and birth control? We got to do a better job of training the youth and portraying holiness and abstaining from fornication and adultery and keeping themselves until marriage. That's the word of God. That's the bottom line. This is a beautiful young girl, and she deserves a husband and a family in a legitimate way. She deserves a beautiful home and to be taken care of, not going to child support trying to figure out which child. Now, remember, he just had the Willie Mae Jr. show, and he said he didn't have any kids. Now, this lady, I think she said it happened in 2023. Now, he just said he didn't have any kids. He wasn't married and he didn't have any kids. Isn't that what he said? But that little baby sounded like a toddler, maybe 1 or 2 years old. Am I mathing right? Am I talking right? Am I mathing right? Let's go on.
Ability for that, but I've gotten the help that I needed. You know, I took the step to take therapy, and I started taking therapy over the situation, and I got completely sober. I am going on about to be 6 months of being sober from alcohol, from smoking vape, smoking weed. Like, I'm completely sober, and I thank God for just changing my life around. If it wasn't for my current boyfriend that is such an advocate for me and my child, I wouldn't have been able to take those steps. But you do have to change your environment in order to be like in that state of being like completely sober. So all this is going on. Mind you, earlier this year I had took in the girl Vashti. I took in Vashti. I can speak about her because she's like the only one that ever came out about him. Probably the first one that ever came out openly about Prophet Brian Carn Jr., right? Shout out to Vashti. She's such a beautiful spirit, man. She's just so beautiful. I took her in and I had to see her crying on my couch, crying about certain allegedly things that went on that she had to find out about. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, I was like, you know, remember when we all had our thing, our situation back in 2023? Well, I was like, I can't prove to you the things that you're finding, but I can affirm you that me and him did talk back in 2023. She was like, oh my gosh, you know, like, she sat there and had to hear that story. And mind you, I'm taken, and I was trying to protect her in a sense. Well, the way that situation went down was some women ended up calling her, I guess, and they got a hold of her, and she found out even more things, and that allegedly is how she ended up even making the post. Shout out to her. Vashti is a very kind individual, by the way, and she's such a sweet person, and I just feel really bad for like everything that like happened to her. And I was like, I don't know. It was just it was horrible. Like the months that I took her in, like, we had an amazing time. She really ended up becoming like a real sister to me. But it was really sad just me seeing things that I saw. And like, it wasn't the greatest moment. Like, it was just kind of sad. That's how much of a true sister she was. Everything that I did was purely and solely genuine. And I was like, dude, like, this is insane. Like, what? And then when she revealed to me that they were together for 10 years, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I knew they were together for 10 years before she even posted the post and came out about it. It was so hard for me. I was confused because it was just so many things that I had to get clarified in my mind, because I said, no way this man did this, and no way the things that she told me that he did. My mouth was like, not my leader, you know what I mean? Like, I not this. And it was way more things. Like, I know so many things that it's like mind blowing that I can't share. And out of respect for both of them, like, I'm just not doing it. I'm not sharing anything. But I'm going to put allegedly and like.
You know, I never understood, because that hasn't been my experience. I never understood the obsession with weed and vaping and smoking and drugs and alcohol, liquor, that and substance abuse. That has never been my life. Now, I do love good food. Now, I am going to be honest about that. Fried chicken, fried fish, fried pork chop. We need to get rid of all of that. But I'm concerned about these young people. You know, you in church, or you're going from day to day and you're high, and then you don't have the leadership in the church to break that weight off you. Instead, they're taking advantage. They're looking, searching the crowd, looking for women, and trying to see who they can prey on. And I don't mean the Our Father's prayer. I'm talking about Prey. This video is very triggering to an experience that I had myself as a young person because I was approached by someone in leadership. It was not the pastor, but it was someone in leadership, an elder member. And to the point that I was backed in a corner and had to fight my way out the corner, jump behind furniture, run to the bathroom and shut the door to keep the person from touching me. And they did not want to stop touching me, even to the point where they're trying to pull off my blouse. This is very triggering to me. And as far as I was concerned, I always had a professional relationship with this person. I saw this person as my brother. I saw this person as a friend, a mentor. And as far as I was concerned, I never gave off the wrong vibe. And I most definitely, I've always been a person because my father was a pastor and my mother, first lady. We always dressed conservatively. So it wasn't about provocative dressing or acting provocative or anything like that. But these people have demons. They're controlled by lasciviousness, and people want to talk about prophetess Loretta Holloman, but this is what she's talking about, this lasciviousness, and these people have these uncontrollable desires, and they go after victim, and nothing can satisfy them, nothing can stop them. They're not saved. They're saved from the waist up, and from the waist down, they're going straight to hell in gasoline draws. This is very triggering, but I'm glad she has a positive person around her so she can get sober. And she said she purchased a property, and I'm very happy about that. But I wanted to be saved for real and married.
How I feel because I have to watch my words because this is somebody very, very powerful. And mind you, like, I'm still frightful of even sharing my story and sharing this. Like, it's scary. Everything that I went through is scary because he's really, really powerful, right? And he has people that coddle his dysfunction, people that know what he's doing. I remember, like, my last day of pretty much me making up my mind, like, I'm not going back to that church. That was this one lady, we're going to call her Susan. Her name is Susan, right? She knows every single thing that's going on. Mind you, she's still there till this day. She knows everything that's going on about this man. And it's just sickening to me. A lot of them know what's going on with this man behind closed doors, but they're coddling his dysfunction, which is a little sickening to me. And I'm not going to put them out because they're probably under some type of manipulation, allegedly as well, from this man. He holds a lot of power, right? Whatever. In my mind, I'm like, when this lady called me and she was like, she always talked about him, number one, like always allegedly communicating about him, like possessive over him in a way. But it was something that she did that completely drove me away. It was like just something really possessive. And she also tried to spread around the story about him and I and what happened with us in the situation. And it kind of like drove me out because then I came in and I started to see like the stares and the people looking at me weird, and it got kind of really creepy. Like, it can get really creepy around there. They're really creepy and really possessive. There's some women that are just really creepy there. They're possessive, and it's okay. Maybe it's something that happened. I'm not sure, but I still care about them too, you know? Like, it's unfortunate, but there's some women almost waiting their shot allegedly to be a first lady. And I'm like, I don't know. But I was like, I prayed about it, and I don't want to speak out with any type of like ill will intention in my heart and have any like malice in my heart. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, that was your truth. That was your story. If he didn't want to be a part of your story, he shouldn't have been in your story. So it's like, I feel like I have every right to speak on my truth, and maybe my truth can help some women or people that could be in that church still potentially going through what I might have went through, where I had to keep everything a secret. And while I'm seeing him raise his hand in victory, I'm struggling and I'm going through things inside because I have to keep things secretive between me and him, even when we started talking Mind you, I told y'all I was keeping my options open because I said, something ain't right here. I felt like, there were certain things that I approached him about, and he even got one girl to call me on like a three-way to prove that he wasn't communicating with her. I found out years later that he allegedly was talking and still communicating with this lady through my friend that I had took in. So it was like so many things when I took her in that got like officially confirmed that I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like, is this really my pastor? Like at the time, like now my ex-pastor. But this is someone that like, I looked up to and I highly admired, and I was like almost kind of like scared of in a way. Of like, I don't know. It was just so many things that like I was just scared to communicate or talk about. But the fact that I'm like still going through the process of like waiting on this DNA test to come back, I just really don't genuinely know. But I can say that like I'm a really nice person. Like I wouldn't harm a fly. And I just hate that like I had to go through something like that. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, I don't know. I would give the shirt off of my back. So I don't understand why I would be the one to go through something like that. Like why me? Why can't it be anybody else? I take full accountability, and I know that I played a part because two is like it's two people that are involved. So I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, like, don't be frightened to speak up and tell your story. Like, be honest, it's okay. And then I see my friend get attacked like that. And I really care about her as a sister. I'm so serious. My friend Vashti, I really care about her a lot. And I just seen her get attacked. I seen the scrutiny. Like I seen the people from KCC like swarm on her like the bees, like almost like the beehive for Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce. But it was like, no, like I'm gonna speak my truth. Like I told my dad. My dad was like furious, like not like that, but he was ready to like speak to him allegedly. But I was like, Dad, like don't worry about it. So my dad ended up just telling like his brothers and sisters, and like I'm just so glad that God like protected me, because like God's rejection is his protection. So I'm glad that it didn't end the way that I wanted to. And sometimes I even still feel a pull to even attend that church and go there. But it's like, girl, out of everything you went through, you must be bad, crazy, like just crazy, But I had to speak my truth. And for anyone that might be going through, you're loved, sister. You're loved. I'm not even going to speak on anyone else's story or anything else that I know, because I know a lot. I found out so much information that it was mind-blowing to my brain, to my mind. But I say this to say that maybe God helped him to get help. And I'm not like trying to count his sin against him or anything of that nature, because I believe that God could change him. I really do. But I also deserve to speak my truth. I have to be okay knowing that some people are going to speak up and speak negative and ill will about me or the situation, because they always want to blame the girl, but they never want to look at the actual person that holds the power.
And oh my God, let me speak on this. Let me speak on this. Let me speak on this. When I left this church, I was cursed with a curse, living on borrowed time. Run, tell that was left on my voicemail. Then I think I ended up changing my number. People came to my job, wanted to know why I left the church because of one person. No, I didn't leave the church just because of one person. Oh no. I had the person that told me I was cursed, living on borrowed time. Now, this is what bothered me. You never talked to me and asked me what I did and didn't do, or what you think is true and what's not true. You going off what somebody told you. But this same person who left this message told me that the wife know how her husband is. Okay, so how is it that the wife know how he is? Well, if you know how he is, you shouldn't let him out the house, and you most definitely shouldn't have been letting him bring the kids to my house to babysit. You should not have let him ride in the car with me when he needed a ride to work or to choir rehearsal or wherever. If you so-called know how he is, why you didn't tell me? I was a young woman in my 20s. I hadn't dated a lot. I hadn't been around men. Most definitely haven't been in no environment in no church like that. My dad ran a strict church, and he didn't have no foolishness and no junk in his church. Between him and the other preacher, evangelist, I'm not gonna call his name, but they didn't play those games. And then I had people coming on my job. I had a grandparent come on my job and tell me that they said all kind of evil things about me, and she observed me, and I was not the woman that portrayed me to be, and I was a nice lady, and this and that, and they were calling me all kind of evil names. Then I had somebody even try to trick me. They knew that the person who did this to me was guilty. And they said that's why they approached them and didn't even talk to me. But then they tried to trick me. They came to my house late at night. I was already in my bed sleeping, getting ready for work the next day. They knock on the door. I put on my clothes. They knock on the door. I say, just a minute. Who is it? And the second person was there, said their name. So I said, well, why are you at my house? Because this person never came to my house. Then the pastor said his name, and I said, just a minute. And so I let them in, and then they're gonna tell him he gonna tell me he likes how I open the door, as if I open the door for anybody and everybody. And that's not true. No, I'm telling you, this stuff is triggering to me between what's going on in my home church and these stories over here about Brian Carn. I need to talk to my therapist again. Because a lot of this stuff I thought I buried and got over it and got beyond it. But when I hear stuff like this and go through stuff like this, it's triggering and I almost want to cry. I have tears in my eyes right now because this is not, the church is supposed to be a refuge and a safety net, a place of instruction and deliverance and protection and sanctification. It is not a place where someone is a predator and trying to look for the next pair of legs they can take advantage of and who they want to sleep with and who they can manipulate and how many women they can manipulate and how many men and women they can sleep with and destroy their lives and their future. And even though I never touched this man, these people put a scarlet letter on me that I probably have to live with the rest of my life. They know that I'm not guilty, but they're going to save face. Well, if they're not a member of this church, if they're not with us, it's because they were never one of us. Is being a mean, evil church person, is that what you are? No, I never was one of you and never will be. But this is very hurtful. No one should have to go through this. No one. And I may reach out to this lady and have her to talk to me. I may put this, I don't know. But no one should have to deal with this. And I pray you go on in God and know that these people are not real, that God is a person of love and holiness and sanctification, and that He wants your soul saved. And these people did not have your best interests at heart at all, ever.
which is kind of creepy also in itself. But like, I deserve to speak my truth, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay for me to speak my truth. And I am almost, you okay? Mommy's here. It's like I'm almost, I don't want to see anyone else have to go through what I went through. And for the women that allegedly still might be there doing what they're doing, which I'm not even going to speak on because I'm not even going to go there because that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother big route. Like, I feel bad for them. But then again, the people that are there that know, they decided to still stay in the dysfunction. Um, do I believe that he probably needs some type of help, like therapy or something? Probably so, but like I do believe that he's heavily called by God to do the things that he's doing. Like I do believe that he's super called by God, but I just pray that he gets the help that he needs so that way he's not hurting another. So I feel like, I came to that church with like a pure heart, really genuinely wanting to change. Mind you, I was like, oh, this man, he's handsome. You know what I mean? Like he's a handsome man. Like I'm getting, not only am I getting a word, but I'm getting a word by someone that looks very attractive. Like he had it going on. He could sing. He had so many things going on. So it was like when you get approached by someone like that, it's like, ah. But it's like everything that glitters is not gold. And I feel like I fell into the trap of maybe his all of that, but it's like it's not worth it. And I'm still grateful and appreciative for like everything. I'm not knocking that church, but I'm saying that's the reason why I left. And I hope this helps someone. And I hope that this causes you to, it's okay, honey. It's okay. I'm making a video. And I hope that this helps somebody. I hope it does. And it's okay. Like, he's human, so I'm not expecting no one to be perfect. And it also caused me to look at pastors now and just know that, like, they're not perfect beings, Like, they're not perfect. They're not going to
Yeah,
be
but God ain't
perfect.
call you to be no
So
hoe either.
I have to know that inside as well. But, yeah, I hope that he's changed. I hope that he's changing. Even though allegedly I heard things that it's still not great that's going on, but it's none of my business. But I thank Jesus so much for directing my path. Jesus is the heart and the light of my life. Mind you, I'm not perfect. I have not done perfect things. I told you, mind you, like I said, like I know that I'm not perfect, and I know I have not made the greatest decisions in life. And like I take full accountability. I am not ashamed of anything that I went through. But what I can say is that I'm not a pastor, and I'm not leading a flock, and I'm not like up there leading a flock. So it's like it's a little different, But I pray that God gives him grace for everything, and I come with a pure heart to genuinely state the reasoning of why I left, because I know a lot of people from that church is probably wondering, why did she go missing? Why did she go missing? If they even care.
Accused of essaying another member, and I didn't know that at the time when I joined. But all I heard after that happened, the pastor, the bishop, attacked this woman in the church over and over again. That's all he preached about. And me coming from one situation at a church, going to this situation at another church, it was too much. And then you had Todd Hall come to the church and get up there in that pulpit, talking about he liked to watch women shout because then he knows who's good in the bedroom. That just took that was the icing on the cake. And it's very sad that these men, they're talented and gifted. And if they get out of self, they can even preach a good message. But somehow they have no sexual discipline. No, yes, Lord, in their spirit, so that their flesh can be under subjection. No true breakthrough with the Holy Ghost, because you can live saved. And I could say here today, up here on this internet, that I am saved for real. And I don't have no boys and toys. And I don't have no midnight hour. And until I'm married, there'll be no midnight hour. I could say I'm saved and sanctified. And like Thomas Whitfield wrote in his song, Praise His Name, I'm free from sin. I'm born again. I'm sanctified. How about you? I'm set apart. How about you? I'm born again. Praise the Lord. And I'm free from sin. Praise the Lord. And I'm sanctified. Praise the Lord. And I'm fire baptized. Praise the Lord. This has triggered me.
Glorify you forever. Oh, I will praise you. I will magnify you forever. I will glorify, I will praise you forever. I will lift your name. I will praise your name forever. Oh yeah. Forever. I will give you praise forever. For the rest of my days.